Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm making flatbread, so may as well share with you guys. I'm making flatbread on the bread machine though, just for the mix, and then the rest of the process will be by hand. So if you don't have a bread machine, that's okay, you don't have to have one. Okay? Anyway, I got here warm water, yeast, dry yeast, sugar, salt, and olive oil. Okay, there you go. Mix it all, and the yeast will begin foaming. Let it foam there. It already smells nice. Mix. See how it's already bubbly? Okay. So we let it do its thing there, just to make sure the yeast is alive. And I have here pre-measured. This is the container for the bread machine. And here I have pre-measured the flour, which is 3 1/4 cups of flour. Okay. Pretty simple. Now, this obviously you could mix by hand, but this time I'm being lazy. Now, once you see that your yeast is alive, see the foam? Okay, yeast is alive. So just put it there with the mix. Okay. And that's it. There goes the yeast. And here, I think I can introduce you to my bread machine now. This is the bread machine. Okay. So what we're just gonna do, put the container there. Make sure it clips all right. And then I'll program it to just make the dough. I just push start, and if you can see, it's only mixing. So you can do that by hand. See? It's just mixing the dough, just round and round, mix the dough until it turns into a bowl. This one I like to make in the bread machine because it's really sticky, so it doesn't make much sense to me to do it by hand, but sometimes I could do that by hand. Okay, and once in a while I like to help the machine get to all the edges. It does a pretty good job. Sometimes it needs the help, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why, but just so you know. Okay, so you mix the dough for like 5-10 minutes, then you let it rest for like 1 hour. and I'll show you. And after that 1 hour, you put it in the refrigerator for another hour. and after it's out of the refrigerator, then you start working on it. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. So once the dough has been all mixed, this is the consistency you want. See, it's sticky, not too much. So once you finish mixing, you just cover it and let it rest covered with wrap, or in this case the same machine does its own thing, for 1 hour. Okay, after 1 hour of resting covered, this is the raw dough, and this is how much it's risen. So it's more than double what it was originally, probably more like triple. So now what we want to do is put it in the refrigerator. But to put it in the refrigerator, so see, here's the raw dough. See, as soon as I pull it out of the container, which is warm, it just flattens. Okay, so now to put it in the refrigerator, I just oil the container a little bit. Not much. Don't need much oil, really. And then I'll just scoop the dough with my hand and let it fall in the container like that. They say you could try and make a flatbread at this point, but it's better if you let it rest in the refrigerator for 1 hour. I've never tried going against the rules, so we'll see. Okay, then just get some plastic food wrap and cover it, and it goes to the fridge for 1 hour at the minimum, or you could store it in the refrigerator up to for like 5 days if you want. And what I usually do is, like, I store it in the refrigerator, and every time I want fresh flat bread, I'll grab 3 ounces, make one bread, toast it in the pan or cook it in the pan, and save the rest for the next day or something like that. So now let's let it wait 1 hour. When you're ready, grab about 3 ounces of the dough. Okay. Put the rest of the dough back in the refrigerator if you want. Then pour some flour on the countertop. Grab a roller pin. Dust it with flour. Make a bowl with the dough. And just flatten it. Try to make it as much nice of a circle as you can. If the dough is too elastic and it doesn't really stretch because it's too cold, you can let it rest for a few minutes and get to room temperature, and that will help a lot. But so far this dough is working nicely. See, once you flatten it on a size that actually will be big enough for your pan, okay? So this is sorry, how thick it gets or how thin. And then you warm up the stove, and you can either put some butter or some olive oil on the stove. Just coat the on the pan. Just coat it a little bit like this. So I just put a little bit of butter, and I'll grab a napkin and get the excess of the butter or the oil, and then nicely lay your dough in the pan. Let it cook for 2 minutes each side. So when it's getting ready to flip, the bread will have air pockets inside. You will see them up there. So you flip it and let it a couple more minutes. Oh, see how the balloon effect. That's kind of fun. Anyway, so there's your bubble. Sometimes it does big bubbles, sometimes it's small bubbles. I guess it depends on how cold your dough is. Either way, this is done. Stuff it with whatever you'd like, or just have it with olive oil and salt, and it'll be perfect. Okay, see you around. Bye bye.